Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome and thank you so very much for joining me. Today we have the July daily video, which is a collaboration with Making Memories with Melodi here on YouTube. And I have a process video of a couple of pages, and then I'll do a flip through of the pages since the last video. Here I have a cute little Memdex flip that I've made, and I put some journaling on the back, and I have put a lot of my journaling on the back of things so that I'm not sharing information about my friends and family all over YouTube who might not like it. I am just gluing stuff on there that I like. I tried to keep some pages more vintage and some pages bright, and it's just not really working out for me. So I'm mixing and matching whatever I like. And I have the numbers that I die cut, and then I'm just looking through to see which ones would look good on that page. And that's the first page that I wrote July on, but I had those letters out and I thought I'd use them. Then on this page, I'm looking right now for journaling paper because I don't have a lot of single-sided paper that I want to use in this book. So I'm just going to make myself a little journaling card and tuck spot, and I'm going through scraps and trying to figure out, oh, too much red on that side. And I sped this up a lot just so you can see it, but you're not bored. And you can see that I don't have a plan. I just fiddle with things and try them out. Now I'm putting the glue on there because I want the card to be straight on the page, and I don't know what that needs to look like to get my tuck spot right. There we go. And I ran that piece of paper through my Big Shot to cut out the die of the US. I did it, unfortunately, after I had attached a few things like that Queen and Company white felt thing that goes down the side. So it's a little flatter than I would have liked it. Then I'm journaling in there. Then I went off camera, finished it. Now I'm going to decorate the outside. And that felt strip down the side, Queen and Company, I don't know if they sell those anymore. Those are really old. I did some ink on the edges with Distress Oxide in Faded Jeans. That's one of my favorites. And I am not too picky about my blues matching. I don't really like my purple blue with my royal blue, but other than that, I like all blues and all of them together. Then I'm going through my numbers again, and this is the 12th. And later I'm going to show you on the flip through, I'll show you more about how I did this page too, because I had part of it down and you're just seeing the finishing touches. But in the slower part, I'll show you. Now, are you watching how this goes terribly wrong? Terribly wrong. If you were paying attention, you're going to know what I'm doing wrong right now. Yeah, remember I said it was the 12th. So let's set that aside, and hopefully when we get to the 21st, we can find that one. I'm pretty sure I've done that at least twice. I'm thinking less about the number I'm supposed to be making, and just whichever one I pick up first, I put down on the left, I think. I don't know. Now I'm looking around to try and find something else small to embellish that with, because I liked how the first one turned out, except for the part where it was the wrong date. So I had a flower that was punched out, and then I put a star in the center of it with a glue dot. And then I'm just layering it up because it looked a little small and lonely without it. Slap some glue on the back, and I'm just not that picky. That's like a little journal that's still in the package, so I can flatten it on. Then I have another piece of this holographic paper, and I had set it aside earlier when I made it because I knew that I wanted to use it on this page to carry that onto the other side. So what I did was I took a blessed die and die cut it. I left this part in so you can see it takes longer to punch it all out and get it right if you put your adhesive on there first. Pros and cons, preference. Maybe I'm better off just punching out my words and then putting the glue. This one, because I was reusing that foil, I needed to have adhesive on it, but I don't know. I'm still not sure what the absolute best way to put your adhesive on little die cut words like this is, but I'm experimenting. And the holographic foil is harder to cut. Foils and those holographic paper that I have the die cut numbers with pretty much all that stuff, you should run it through your die cutter twice. So you can see the blue paper is a little warped and weird, and that's because I ran it through the Big Shot. I had this joy. This was from, I think, Happy Mail or a Christmas collection. I know it was a Christmas collection. I took blue ink, went around the edge, and then I decided to make it a pocket. The back of it had green. The back of it I knew I didn't want to show in my album. That is some stuff that I started layering up. It's the envelope that Melodi sent me Happy Mail in, and I loved, and it had stamps and July stamps. Then I started digging through my paper, and I found a bunch of papers that would be great for journaling. They're white on the back, and they were in my pile. I don't know how to lay out when I junk journal the tiny stuff, the stuff I want for journaling cards, the stuff I want for ephemera. I try, I get some containers, and then the next thing you know, it's like a tornado. You'll notice there aren't a lot of tiny embellishments and stars and layers like I would do on my cards in this book yet. It's because they're small and they've fallen down to the bottom of the stuff on the counter. So as I uncover them, I glue them in. I think you'll see me do that with a fairly large one at some point. I'm sure at the very end, when I clean off the counter, I'm just going to glue in a million different stars and different embellishments. I wanted to put something on the front of that so that when you pull it out of the tuck spot, it has some interest, but it needed to be really flat. So those navy sparkly stars, they're a little bit felty, they're too thick, so I will definitely use those, but somewhere else. And again, you'll see this all slower when we do the flip through. Then I'm looking for something to go with my 13, but I don't want it so big that it shows through the US die cut. So I'm just experimenting and looking around. And then I found the stamp that was sitting there, and it goes with the other stamps on the page. Around me on the counter, I have all sorts of things, and the category is stuff I might want to use in my July daily journal. Here we are on the flip through. We did 1 through 5 in the last one, so this is 6. 6 is a little beat up because it did go through the die cutting machine after I decorated most of it. This is a tag that we sprayed stuff on in a different video and put paste on. I took a black pen and went around that star. I added some silver puffy stickers. I got those at Joann a while ago and I love them. And then I used some fibers from the kit that Melodi made for her Fancy Flow for the July. And on the back, I have some journaling. I sent some joy cards, and you'd think that my house would be clean now. Nope. Just kind of things about COVID, right? Is what I write on the back and what's going on. It is a double tuck spot. I just haven't put anything in it yet. And then I have that star die right there that I got from P of Whimsical Endeavors. And then another star die that I love. I borrowed it from Noni a long time ago. And the card came in the kit, and I put the Oh My Stars puffy sticker on there. I love those puffy stickers. I had 2 sets of them. I think they were pebbles. Then It's a Star-Spangled Kind of Day is a tuck spot with the journaling card in it. And I'm caught up. Like all these pages that I'm showing you right now, these have journaling in them, whether you can see it or not. This one, you can see the journaling. It was a Wednesday. I was working at the folding table in my craft room, sitting on this tan couch, which needs to be replaced. I love how this page mixes bright glitter washi tape with tea-dyed paper and vintage-looking scrapbook paper. Some of that paper is the paper that I did some tea dyeing on. I just think it's really fun. I have bright and sparkly, but also vintage. I talked about how my husband got a haircut and you have to wear a mask, and I cut his hair twice this year. I love this page. United We Stand puffy sticker. That's one of my favorites. Over the die cut of the US. And then I used the wrapping paper that was in the kit from Melodi. She put some great stuff in her Fancy Flows. You should check them out on her website at melodymade.com. I just glued it down, and then I put the number on there. And then I write about things that are actually happening. Like my husband's playing kickball. I don't know if that's going to get to continue, but I wrote about that and that you can't have any spectators there. I drove the car to the post office, and that was so strange. I wrote about it in my journal because I couldn't remember the last time I drove. And I mean, we're a 2-car household. I drive in my normal life every single day. It's unusual if I don't leave the house. But like I get in the car and I'm like, where's the garage door button? I don't know how it works anymore. Here I found a loose star, so I decided to glue it down. Like I was saying, the little things get lost in the shuffle. So I've really enjoyed writing about what's going on. We did have our friend brought his puppy, who is now full size, over and played with Wilson. And it was a little nerve-wracking because Wilson has some socially inappropriate activities. And he got a little rare, but he did great. Then he was worn out because he's kind of old compared to a puppy. That's a tuck spot from Ephemera in the paper pack. And then this is that page where you saw me kind of put it together. So on the back of that red card, there's washi tape and some glue. And I just think this is a pretty fun page. And I'm sure I'll add more to this. I just don't know how much I'm going to put on each page. Okay, this page, this was one of my mop-up papers underneath. So that's why it has like weird sprays. I stamped on it. Then see how it's holographic with blue? Noni gives me her junk, her random trash sometimes. She makes beautiful cards and she's not into junk journaling at all. So she gave me a couple of pieces of this. She had used a stencil. She gave me one that was gold, one that was silver, and one that was rainbow. So for this, I used the silver and I took stripes of that score tape that I just showed you, 1 inch, and put it on the back, put it on the page, and then I just rubbed the foil on there like a rub-on and then carefully peeled it off. And I looked at the stencil, so I kind of got an idea of where I was going to pick up that foil. I wanted the center part. And then I hung that funny red thing from the kit from Melodi over it, gave it some texture. Then the parts of the stencil that didn't have the foil on them, so they were uncovered, they were still sticky on the strips of score tape, right? So many, many, many years ago, and there's all sorts of techniques, you can take double-sided tape and you just rub glitter on it. So what I did was I took little sprinkles of this blue glitter and then just my finger and rubbed it into the sticky parts in those little tiny like sun ray things until it wasn't sticky. So it's silver hologram with blue in the sun rays. I don't know. Turned out fun. And then there's the thing that we glued together in the other one. And I'm hoping that when I do sew this together, everything will line up the way I imagined and blessed will show through. But if it doesn't, that's okay too. I think I'm about ready to sew it. What I'm trying to figure out is it going to be 2 signatures or 3? I built it planning to have 3, but I think it's getting too thick. I am caught up to the 13th. My goal is to have this whole journal done August 5th. I think that's reasonable. If I keep up on my journaling, then I can clean up, put all the finishing touches. And I hope that you are getting ideas or getting inspired to play in your supplies. And if you're not doing a July daily, maybe you'll do September because you love fall, or October daily because you love Halloween. Pull out your stuff and have a great time. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and watch Melodi's video. Bye-bye.